Great Mother speaks to us through us. And in these readings on a collective unconscious level, in the shadows she casts in each moon phase, chakra, variant god, and goddess energy, and seen from The Wizard of Oz and Dorothy's narrative, the poster child of Mama Drama Trauma, as illustrated in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck, based on the 49 scenes of her journey to live MDT free. What is MDT? Mama Drama Trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases when the mother is unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, it is my recommendation as a professional life coach to live in loving detachment. And this is what my work does. I support people in living in loving detachment. This is the most basic, most fundamental type of loving detachment, but it's useful in all phases of our life. For more information about that, you can click the information box below. And if you would like to learn more about this deck and how to work with it to develop your empathic and or intuitive abilities to live in loving detachment, check the information box below where you see how to read deck classes. Each new moon begins a new emotional healing cycle. Here we focus on MDT. Great Mother speaks to each sign about the supportive energies available to it as a collective consciousness and offers guidance for internal activation of this subtle yet powerful support. Look for your special Great Mother Speaks reading, especially for your sign's new moon, to hear how to further enhance the success of your new lunar year plans and wishes. These readings are entitled Sun in Your Moon Sign Readings. Where was the moon when you were born? This new moon, a partial solar eclipse, is on the cusp of Aquarius Pisces. The Western ego, emotion, earth-centric moon is conjunct Venus and the South Node, bringing to light Piscean tendencies to control emotions for the highest good of the group, social network, or friends, assuming one knows what that is. While the intuitive downloads from the Capricorn moon and the Sidereal cosmically correct soul astrology may be bringing up a need to finesse the current situation more to your benefit by shrewdly releasing those people-pleasing qualities unconsciously responsible for creating relationship and group dynamic problems in the first place. For instance, instead of modifying your behavior to prevent a perceived negative outcome, lighten up. Imagine yourself at peace no matter what happens instead. If this seems far-fetched, perhaps you are over-relying on the buy-in and approval of others at this time, and the energies are pointing to a need to redefine the terms of your health, wholeness, and happiness by taking full responsibility for your thoughts, decisions, and actions, dictating the terms of your experience of this birthright. This is what this partial solar eclipse is all about. This Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, new moon energy is dealing with whatever remaining internal MDT issues came up for release during the lunar eclipse, this past full moon reading. They are now externally shining their light in the Aquarius sun and spilling over into your life in ways you are now more equipped to address. Great Mother's lunar south node energies at the Aquarius cusp and in K2, the sidereal south node conjunct Capricorn, gives us poise, grace, and the ability to admit and articulate our most sincere wants and needs to ourselves and others in practical yet loving ways. Because a partial solar eclipse, Great Mother Moon, does not totally eclipse the sun's shadows will not be felt as intensely. Great Father expressed as physical action and material life, the law, the logos, the word, in the masculine sign of Aquarius will be powerfully felt with Mercury's solar conjunction in Aquarius in both the Western and Sidereal astrology, emphasizing the abundance of support available to us all for graciousness, beautiful, and loving communication exchanges. Great Mother is subtle, unseen. She is, in fact, the comforter, the Holy Spirit the Christ spoke of, that still small voice, our intuition, knowing what we know we know. Of course, emotions is how the ego communicates to its higher self, and intuition is how the soul communicates to the ego. Great Mother is the moon, especially this new moon version of the sun and the moon in the same sign, when she is embracing the earth in the blackness of her bosom. To reduce her to only mere emotion is to not recognize her sheer energy of uncontrollable freedom, darkness, and mystery she is within us. That still, unfamiliar, little understood, or even known birthright of happiness, wholeness, and health we intuitively cling to, and why we are here to hear from her through the signs and symbols of this birth moon reading. Welcome, Scorpio, Sagittarius moon people, to your February new moon reading. This new moon is on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, which is in your third and second houses. There's a lot of supportive energy for you in your communication house and in your domestic life house. There's a lot of energy that is going around to make sure that the values that you have are in alignment with what you are communicating at home, how you're communicating your wants and your needs. But also, since we do talk about mother wound issues and healing those issues through loving detachment, it's also referring to how you are mothering and how you are being mothered as well. What's the communication with that? Are you being communicated to in loving, compassionate, and nurturing ways? And are you communicating as a mother, be you male or female, in loving, kind, and compassionate ways to your children or those who are like your children? You might be in management. You might be someone who is child free, but in your capacity at work, you are like a mother, okay? Sometimes we can resent those roles, but that's why we really look at these energies. We look at the vibe that's going with our emotions and our intuitions. For those of you who are with us for the first time, the ego astrology is talking about our emotions, and so our emotions are what we upload to the soul, into our soul astrology, which is your Scorpio moon sign in the sidereal. Unless you are like a fifth of the people who are both Sagittarius in the Western and Sagittarius in the sidereal, please check to make sure in the links below. Now, Great Mother's coming through for you, and she's saying that you are approaching this new moon period with all the energies that have been shared with you, with a need to accept where you are, accept how you feel. Maybe you already are accepting how you feel, and this is a confirmation for you. Great Mother Speaks readings provide clarity, balance, and confirmation. So either way, she's coming through with you with the Demeter card. It's a gut chakra full moon card. This would indicate that since the total lunar eclipse, the 31st of January, the last full moon, you might want to look at your full moon readings. This is the first card. This is how you are approaching this new moon. And so you're approaching this new moon with energies that are carried over from that full moon, which had to do with releasing shadows, purifying shadows in your life. And so those shadows would indicate that there were some issue with accepting how you feel about a particular situation, with accepting love, nurturing, and compassion, as these energies are very strongly expressed in your reading here. And so maybe someone is loving you, maybe someone is providing you the nurturing compassion that you need, but it's difficult for you to accept. Maybe you are doing that for someone else and it's difficult for them to accept, and therefore makes the situation difficult for you to accept. Great Mother's coming through for you, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people, and she's saying that it's time to just look at the situation for what it is and accept what you have been given. Accept what is being shared with you. Accept it. And maybe what is being shared with you is that you are not going to receive the nurturing, the compassion, the love that you need, and you know that, and maybe there's a little resentment about that, and Great Mother is saying, accept that. Whatever the situation is, it needs to be very squarely acknowledged. Okay? And so this would indicate that with the moon being in Capricorn and the sidereal in your third house, that on a soul level you are downloading some communication about this. You are downloading some communication about there being a need to pay attention to what your gut is telling you, and that there is a need for you to be clear about what your present values are around that situation. Because for Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people, Saturn is in your second house, and this has to do with you being very clear about what it is that you treasure at this time in your life. And so she's coming through very strongly, and she's saying, tell yourself the truth about how you're feeling, because the transformational experience for you is going to allow you to face a challenge that is active in your life right now. So there's a challenge with this. There's a challenge with regard to not being given what you need, not seeing something for what it is, or receiving what you need, but it's not what you want, or receiving the truth about a situation and it's not what you want to hear, it's not what you want to accept. That is the challenge that needs to be faced, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people. It is something that is going to transform this energy right now and allow you to take action, make a decision that will really release you from this stalemate, release you from this blockage. There's an energetic blockage between your gut chakra and your throat chakra. I don't know whether or not this is being expressed in ways that are associated with the gut chakra. Maybe intestinal bowel syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome or problems digesting, stomach sensitivities, or maybe a sore throat. Maybe you are being affected by the flu season in such a way that, you know, you just really haven't gotten your voice right, and maybe you don't even sound like yourself. And this blockage is causing you to really dig deep, and you're happy that you've tuned into this reading, because you're going to get the information that you need to expend this blockage. It's based on this rage. There is a frustration. Rage is suppressed anger, and there's anger about this not receiving the nurturing, the compassion and love that you need. There's an anger about it either not being received, or you not being able to give it, or you are giving it and it's not being received by someone else. There is a frustration because intuitively you are doing the best that you can. You're doing what you know to do. You're not hurting anyone. Your intentions are good. And on top of that, you're not being acknowledged, and your intuition, which is communicating to you to accept your gut
and you're doing that, or you're in the process of doing that, maybe you're having difficulty doing that, but you know you need to do it, and it's causing havoc. It's making other people around you uncomfortable. It's creating conflict, and it's making you feel very insecure. It may be even jeopardizing your security, maybe your financial security. Pisces is in your second house, and so it's on the cusp of Pisces. And so again, we have this values, and then we have, Saturn in your second house. And so, Pisces has this real issue with spiritual awareness and heightened spiritual awareness and an ability to meditate and to go within. And there has been a blockage with you being able to do that, indicated by these chakras here. But Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook the fact that the crossroads between the ego and the soul is the heart chakra. And so in your heart, there is a purification process underway. You are actually transitioning from one phase of life into another. Because in the sidereal, Saturn is in Sagittarius, which is your second house in the sidereal as well. And it's in the nakshatra of Mul. And Mul is ruled by Ketu, which is the south node in the sidereal, or, in Capricorn is what we have the south node in now, which Saturn rules. Saturn rules Capricorn. And so you have this very strong energy that is purifying your heart right now. And she doesn't want you to overlook the fact that maybe you have felt differently in the past about how you need to be nurtured, how you need to be mothered, and how you need to mother. But it has changed. It has changed. And that's what the challenge is. Maybe you've learned some new things and you want to integrate those new things in your life. Maybe you've had an experience. We're always growing, we're always evolving, and you're wanting to integrate those experiences and shift some things in your life. But isn't it always those that are closest to us that prevent us from doing that? And that is because we get accustomed to the roles that others play in our lives. And when we want to shift those roles, it's not welcomed. And so this is causing frustration for you. And Great Mother is saying, hey, stay focused, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people, because this is a heart purification. Your very heart, your very nexus of ego soul communication, emotion, intuitional communication is being shifted. Don't overlook that. This is not an easy process for you. This has everything to do with your domestic lifestyle, how you are supported at home. Because the heart chakra is the nexus, it's the crossroads, but the root chakra is the foundation of birth, family, relationships, security, money, speaking of second chakra, safety. And this root chakra, waxing gibbous moon card, is telling us that you are revising, you are editing, you are reevaluating how you feel secure, how you feel safe. Maybe you freed up some of the old ideas you've had about motherhood and management. Maybe you have had a eureka moment and you haven't been able to implement your newness into the world. But because the sun is in Aquarius and it's all about surprises, it's all about eureka moments and creativity and all of that, you're being supported during this partial solar eclipse, because the sun is not completely eclipsed with this. It's just partially eclipsed by the sun, so there's still light coming forward, and Mercury is conjunct Aquarius. So the communication issue, that third house issue, is being purified with Mercury conjunct the sun in Aquarius in the nakshatra of Dhanishta. Dhanishta is energy that is supporting you in an area of being in the mix of conflict and still being the Pied Piper. You are still happy authentically, gregarious, vivacious, the heart of the party, not just because you're putting on, but because you really do feel a newness. You really do feel a new connection with people. The fact that you're not being able to express that fully at home or in areas of your life that feel like home, Great Mother is saying that does not negate the fact that you're in a process of revision, you're in a process of purification, and your soul is coming through and is saying, hey, you're being rewarded. It may not feel like you're being rewarded right now, but you are being rewarded. Remember when Dorothy and the three returned to Oz's castle with the broom and he had nothing for them but some awards that they didn't expect, but was everything they needed? That's what your soul is communicating to you, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people, with this third house energy in this Capricorn, Aquarius moon. It is saying to you in the nakshatra of Shravana and Capricorn that you can dance this through. You are shrewd, you are caring, you are respected, you are loved, you are getting everything that you need to be able to face this challenge and accept your feelings in a way that respects who you truly are. This is the waxing gibbous moon third eye card. And so a lot of revision going on here. And so here we had it with the heart chakra, and we have heart above energy with the third eye. So you're doing a lot of soul work right now, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people, and it's not unusual when we're doing that to feel a great deal of frustration and a great deal of rage with our material circumstances and relationships. But because this is an Aquarius moon in the Western, that's the emotional, and an Aquarius sun, there's a lot of support for you to be able to refine and redefine your social connections, your groups, your friends, and things of that nature. Not so much dealing with the root chakra, other than the fact that this is energy that is highly expressed in your fourth house, with Aquarius being the sun. Okay, in the soul sidereal Scorpio, and in the third house in the Sagittarius. Great Mother saying with Brigitte coming through in the selfhood position that it is time to really take a bow and look at the fact that the dance that you're doing is for you to express yourself fully. Isn't that a wonderful thing to do? This is the card when Dorothy asked the castle guards for the broom after the witch has been dissolved. Taking your power back. That's what you're doing. And that can be very, very uncomfortable for you and for others. It's been convenient. You've played a particular role for a particular time. Other people have grown used to it. You've grown used to it. And we don't do anything unless there's a payoff. And so there was something that you were getting from the role you were playing before. It's just not working now. This is fifth chakra, another heart above energy card. So you need to speak your new needs, your new wants. You need to express them more clearly. That's the third house energy coming through for you, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people. It's saying that when you speak this with this mercurial energy that is really supporting you in your third and fourth houses of Aquarius, where Mercury is in both the sidereal and in the Western astrology, that you will be able to communicate your domestic issues with more vivaciousness, being a Pied Piper in the midst of chaos. Just express that selfhood. That's that full moon energy. We have another full moon card right below your entry card, which is how you were approaching this new moon. And you see how that's gut chakra, and this is fifth chakra. This is instinct, this is gut, this is the throat, speaking to your higher will, your higher desires. And so again, look at that full moon total lunar eclipse video for Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people. If you haven't already, you might want to look at it again. Great Mother's coming through, and she's talking about your dance that you're doing. She's talking about taking a bow. She's talking about being shrewd. She's talking about being humanitarian in a new way, or perhaps perceiving others and their needs in ways that you are now creatively being able to more efficiently assess. And it's new and it's wonderful. You're taking your power back. What she's saying to let go of is the fact that there are some discomforting situations that are just what they are. Okay, isn't that what we are talking about here? Accepting our feelings. Let go, acknowledge it. It is what it is. This is the card of one God, one law. And one God, one law has to do very much with this Aquarian energy of the collective. What affects one truly affects us all, which is why these readings resonate with anyone who has Scorpio, Sagittarius, lunar energy, and who tend to be highly sensitive, intuitive, or empathic. Great Mother is coming through, and she's saying that with this balsamic moon phase, which is right before the new moon, if you're watching it right before the new moon, I think I managed to get it posted up by then. This is a download period for you. And so you're getting a lot of downloads that it's time for you to just acknowledge whatever those shortcomings, challenges, blocks, obstacles are in fully expressing yourself and accept them. Just accept what they are. And so what does that mean? That means that you're no longer suppressing your anger. You've gotten it out in the open so that you can what? Face whatever challenges that creates for you. Okay? When we look at something squarely, we can face it. And remember, we're seen as divine children of a great Mother, Father, God. We're not seen as weak. We're not seen as incapable of handling our lives. We're seen as powerfully adored, deeply loved, deeply skilled to do whatever we need to do, to live the lives that we came here to live. We create the illusion of limitation. And so certainly you can face whatever needs to be acknowledged. And if you see in the corner here, that's another root chakra card in the balsamic position. And that is an indication that there is some grounded rage around the family situation. This is the card when Miss Gulch comes to take Toto from Dorothy. And she's very upset because Toto symbolizes her intuition. What about your intuition is Saturn in your second house coming up with this Mool Nakshatra telling you? Well, Mool is a nakshatra that is ruled by Ketu. Of course, the nakshatras are the stars that govern the planetary energies in the cosmic collective. And this is telling you that you already know, because of this acceptance card, how to express yourself. In fact, your soul is rewarding you and encouraging you to continue doing it, which is why it doesn't feel like a reward. I mean, each step that you take in the direction of your new life, of your new attitude, of the new way you want to implement love in your life, the mothering, of being mother, you're encouraged. But it's not by who you want it to be. It's not the people loving Toto that you want to love Toto. It's some weird people like the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion. Okay? And that's okay. Because what Great Mother is saying, you need to embody for this journey to facilitate the release of rage is your unique divine expression. Androgyne. This is the double yang symbol yin card that is about trusting that yin energy, that intuitive energy, enough to act on it. This is the law of destiny and free will. The law of destiny and free will says that the soul did incarnate in your form for a specific purpose. But because the ego does have its own free will as well, it can decide to align with it or not. Should it align with it, and in this position of what needs to be embodied under purification, that's telling us you are right now being purified at your heart nexus to fully express your soul's purpose. Scorpio, Sagittarius, Moon people. You're being supported in the spiritual realm to do that. Now again, that might not feel so great in the material realm, but let me tell you, it's extremely powerful, and the energies for this partial solar lunar eclipse support it. Your final outcome, should you choose through your free will to fully express your free will to align with your soul. And as you see here, there's a fifth chakra in the middle of that. It's a third quarter card, so it's about releasing any and everything that doesn't allow you to do that. Okay, that's what needs to happen to facilitate the acknowledgement and release of this rage. Okay, and so there's a purification going on, which is why this is above androgyne. Great Mother's acknowledging that. This is a process. It's a process. And so this new moon, this eclipse season, you're going to see this process proceed more and more and more. Okay, and so the outcome of this lunar phase, this lunar cycle rather, from the phase of this new moon is wellness, should you choose to align with your soul purpose, which you already know. Again, it's another full moon card. Check out that total lunar eclipse video from the lunar eclipse, because Great Mother's coming through for you with a lot of full moon energy, lots of it for you, lots of confirmation that you're going to be balanced in health, wholeness, and happiness. The journey will be worth it. The purification of the heart, exactly what you need, exactly what you want. So beautiful, this reading. This is the waxing gibbous moon, the refining, the revision, right before the full moon, the full illumination of your soul purpose on this planet at this time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing and liking as you see fit. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.